Hi everyone, my name is Shelby and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about my favorite thing to talk about, and that is books. Specifically, we're going to talk about 5 books that will help you level up your financial gain in 2023. All right, the first book that we're going to talk about is Essentialism, or The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by Greg McKeown, I think is how you say his last name. I probably should have Googled how to say names, and I didn't, so say lovey. I went on Goodreads to get like a little synopsis of each of the books, just so I'd have a good kicking off point while we're talking about this. And I really like the first couple of lines of this one. It just reads like a cheesy infomercial snuggie type thing. So I'm just gonna read it to you because it's kind of funny. Have you ever found yourself stretched too thin? Do you simultaneously feel overworked and underutilized? Do you often feel busy but not productive? If you answered yes to any of those, there's a way out. So I really like this book because the whole shtick of it is the disciplined pursuit of less, right? And so that the whole book, the whole thing, and I really recommend reading the whole thing, even though it's a very distilled idea, is to take everything in your life, figure out what matters, do the things that matter, and try your best to get rid of the things that don't matter. So by doing less of the things that don't matter to you, and that's an arbitrary thing, but that's okay, right? Because we're all idiosyncratic people. We all have our own hopes, desires, thoughts, beliefs, and we're all gonna have our own goals and our own vision of what a purposeful life is. And so actually taking the time to reflect on your own beliefs and your own ambitions and your own goals and your own idea of what a purposeful life is, and then looking at your life genuinely and getting rid of the things that don't add value. Get rid of it, or like delegate it out or something. Mind you, like cleaning toilets doesn't feel like it adds value to your life, but if you value a clean home, if you value, a happy family that isn't yucky and stuff, like that does add value. So it's about reframing things and actually figuring out what sticks in your life. He actually talks a lot about are there things that you could delegate out? What are the things that only you can do and no one else can do? What are the things that uniquely support you in your life? I really recommend it. It's a good introspective book. It gets you really thinking about what matters to you and how to pursue that in a more purposeful way, right? Okay, the second one that we're going to talk about today is Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis, and I will not apologize because I really like Rachel Hollis. I didn't care for her a lot when I first started listening to some more self-helpy books, but honestly, her work is really good, and I feel like it comes from a very feminine lens, and I like her podcast. I like Girl Stop Apologizing. I like it when she's a guest host on other podcasts. She did one with Lewis Howes at one point, and I really enjoyed that episode, and I feel like she's gotten kind of a bad rap, and I don't know. It's definitely more geared for women, so guys, you might not get as much from it as women do, but it's all about those limiting beliefs that are within us, and learning to fill up your own cup so that you can better provide for the people around you. Because, as moms, we do want to do that. We do want to provide for other people. We want to, have a nice home and have a nice supper and have well-adjusted kids and all the things while working full-time, because that's the economy we live in, right? And so she talks a lot about figuring out what you want out of your life, figuring out what, boundaries you have to put down, how to amp yourself up to pursue your goals, really, pursuing those big, nasty, crazy dreams, and not being afraid to dream, right? Not being afraid to, be bold and be out there and be seen, be perceived. I know so many people out there are afraid of being perceived at this point. Myself, I was one of them, right? And now here I am making a YouTube channel. So girl, stop apologizing. Just go out there and live your life. I really recommend it. Go check it out. Number 3 on this list is called We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. And I'm kicking myself in the butt because honestly, this probably should be my number 1. This book has completely shifted my mindset with money. For me, I come at money, I've always looked at money as like only people who, either break their backs working, 80 hours a week can make money. Only people born into money can make money. And I mean big money. I think everyone can achieve like middle class status, and maybe that's wrong, but like that's kind of in my head, or maybe it's my belief for myself that I can achieve, middle class status. But for big money, I've always had that limiting belief that like because I'm not born into big money, because I'm not willing to sell out, I won't achieve that, right? Like I'm always going to be a little public servant. And like, that's okay, right? As long as I have good benefits, it's worth it. And this book really challenged that for me. And her podcast, again, with Lewis Howes, he's on a roll in this podcast too, I guess. Her podcast with Lewis Howes, like I had to go buy her book immediately. I really, really recommend it. This is a really good book for us girlies out there who want to do something special with their money, right? This book is so cool because it's about how only 10% of the world's millionaires are women, and it makes it difficult for women to wield economic power that will create lasting equality. They did a study, they did like a thing in, an underdeveloped country where they gave money to men and they gave money to women, and they found that men tended to spend the money on themselves and women tended to spend the money on their community. And it's more economically feasible to fund women in underdeveloped countries because they tend to put that money into their communities and building up the whole community. She talks a lot about how making money is not selfish, and that was it was a mind shift for me. And I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's the patriarchy. I don't know. But it was revolutionary to me to think that making money is not selfish, and that pursuing money is not wrong. If your goal is to make big money so that you can fund a not-for-profit, or so that you can, have more time with your children, or so that you can buy land, like Steve Irwin always wanted to do. He didn't give a rip whose money it was. Steve Irwin hustling for money if he's gonna use that money to buy land. And like, yeah, it should be the state's job, but the state isn't doing it, so we gotta do it, right? See, I'm super fired up just thinking about this book because it's so inspirational on a way that like I had just never thought of, that it's okay to pursue money because in my hands, I'm going to do great things with it. It got me thinking about what I would do with money if I didn't, if I had some extra, right? Like, am I just going to, get myself some nails? Probably not. I actually really hate the feeling of nails, so I'm not going to do that. And not eyelashes either. I actually just hate even wearing mascara, so I'm not going to get full out eyelashes. I'm going to buy land. And I'm going to plant, local native species of wildflowers to get the bees to come back. That's what I want to do with money. That's a big reason why I'm starting this YouTube channel, is because of that book and inspiring me that my goal of taking care of the earth and taking care of my family is worth it. And if I got to hustle for it, I'm going to hustle for it. And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I know that what I'm doing is worthy of, is a good thing. And that if I don't chase that money, like other people are going to chase that money. Jerks are going to chase that money. Jerks are going to get that money. And what are they going to do with it? They're just going to, dump oil on the ground or something, like a baron, like a cartoon villain or something. And like, why not in my hands? Why not? Why not me taking care of my family? Let's pretend that this is actually number 1. Go read this book right now. Listen to the podcast that she's on. take in everything from her because she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's an inspiration to all women. Thank you so much, Rachel Rodgers. Okay, number 4, Love People Use Things, by Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus. I could put this on the list just for the title. Beautiful, beautiful title. I can't get over it. These guys, you might recognize their names. They're the minimalists. They wrote a book called Minimalism or something at one point. This is just their new one. Oh my gosh, I missed the subtitle. The subtitle, it's Love People Use Things Because the Opposite Never Works. It's so good. That's writing right there. Love it. Imagine a life with less stuff, less clutter, less stress and debt and discontent, a life with fewer distractions. Now imagine a life with more time, more meaningful relationships, more growth and more contribution and contentment. A life of passion unencumbered by the trappings of a chaotic world around you. What you're imagining is an intentional life, and to get there, you'll have to let go of some clutter along the way. So this book, again, it's about minimalism. It's about decluttering. It's really, it's like essentialism. It's about choosing the things that add value to your life and getting rid of the rest. Truly pursuing. But yeah, I really recommend this book. Again, I think that they have a podcast and I do like it. I like their books more. And they have like a documentary, but I don't know. They do a really good job of like tying a couple things together in a way that is really nice and really inspirational, and you can kind of get that hit of like get rid of the things that it's so important. So I really recommend you check out Love People Use Things Because the Opposite Never Works. Okay, the last one, number 5. This is a book that I actually bought instead of just got from the library. I don't know why. I saw it, sparked joy, bought it. That's what I'm telling myself. This is Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, a proven plan for financial fitness. Dave Ramsey. I know not everyone is Camp Dave Ramsey, okay? Especially when I have people like, I don't know if Rachel Rodgers likes Dave Ramsey. It feels like she wouldn't. But I do think that there's like wisdom in both. So hear me out, okay? Dave Ramsey, he talks a lot about his 7 baby steps, which we're working. So something I do like about his program is the 7 baby steps. The first one is to save $1,000 fast. It's to get you amped up for making some money. Number 2 is the debt snowball. Number 3, finish the emergency fund. So with baby step number 2, the debt snowball, he recommends the debt snowball over the avalanche. I kind of agree with him. It's about building momentum, and it's about keeping your mindset up. And while the avalanche makes more sense with math, it doesn't make as much sense in terms of motivation and keeping you amped up and keeping you feeling like you're succeeding. So I do recommend the debt snowball for most people, unless you're like a really disciplined person, but you're probably not if you're in debt. So I don't know. Shots fired. Sorry about that. Number 3 is to finish off the emergency fund. So that $1,000 that you saved earlier, that's your new emergency fund. And then with step number 3, finish the emergency fund. So that's 3 to 6 months of living or more, depending on your. The next step is maximize retirement investing, then college funds, pay off the home mortgage, build wealth like crazy. So something that he talks a lot about, and maybe I just like him because he's got a lot of like little one-liners, and I love a good one-liner, right? I think we've already seen that. I love a good one-liner. He talks about living like no one else so that you can live like no one else and you can give like no one else. There are things in this world that like financially matter to some people, and like making room for that and making room for making so much money and having yourself in such a good financial position that you can take care of everyone else. It's like what they say about when you have more than you need, you build a longer table, not a bigger fence, right? That's kind of what he talks a lot about. And yeah, he talks about living on rice and beans. And I don't think that that's wrong. I know that kind of flies in the face of like an abundant mindset, but I do see it as like a season of sacrifice. And I think that that makes sense. And maybe that's just like the attitude that I was brought up in, and like that there is a certain level of sacrifice if you want to be successful. I do think that there's a certain level of sacrifice needed to achieve anything. Like, look at me right now. I'm filming some YouTube videos, and I'm sacrificing some time. This matters so much to me that I think it's worthy of pursuit. So that's what I'm doing, you know? Just be forewarned though, with this book, there's a lot of testimonials in it. So like that's a bit much. But I mean, some people respond really well to testimonials, right? So that might not be the worst thing in the world. You don't have to sell me the book. I already bought it, you know what I mean? But that's okay. Oh, and like he has like a radio show that's also a podcast. And it's okay. It can kind of get you amped up. He does like call-ins, like people call in and they talk about their finances with him. And he has like this very aggressive Southern vibe to him where he tells them to like quit being an idiot and live off of rice and beans and get, you know, quit making stupid choices. And I don't know, there's something very palatable about that to me. I don't believe in bootstraps, but there's something in me that just loves like a bootstrap. So there you have it, guys. My 5 picks for books that will up-level your financial life, maybe make you rich, maybe make your community safer and more prosperous, maybe, make your home life even better. I don't know. I guess money isn't inherently evil. It just, inflates what's already there or exacerbates what's already there, right? And so if you bring anger and dirtiness into your money, then like that's what your money is going to give you back. And if you come at money with the hopes of providing and using it for good, then I genuinely think that money can do those things. Anyways, thank you everyone for letting me talk about books today. I'm going to do it more because wow, I got really jazzed up for this video. I really enjoyed getting to talk about reading. So if you made it this far in the video, please remember to like and subscribe. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if there's any of the authors that you completely disagree with, and why, because I love kind of a both sides-ism. That's very fun to me. If there are any books that I missed, and there are books that I missed, let me know in the comments. Give me some book recommendations. I'll go read them, baby. Like, I love it. Anyway, like and subscribe. Okay, thanks everyone again. Okay, bye.